Welcome to Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Glad you're with us for college football primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. This is the 7th time that Texas A&M has hosted the #1 team in the country. Do so with the true freshman from San Antonio by way of IMG Academy at quarterback, Kellen Mond.
First down plays are critical for A&M tonight.
Here's Williams out of the backfield, and Williams gets free, and a chunk play into Bama territory for the Aggies.
One of the things that Noel Mazzoni told us they were going to do is use more shifts and motion than they've used in the past. They shifted the tight end, the back, they outflanked Alabama's defense. And then you see the explosive speed of Williams after the short catch.
Speaking of speed, Christian Kirk lined up in the backfield for a moment. Now the late shift with Williams coming back to running back. And a good gain right up the middle. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, Kellen Mond has stepped into this limelight, a true freshman now facing the best defense in the country. His offensive coordinator, Noel Mazzoni, told us that he wants him to be decisive tonight. Alabama with 8 interceptions is so good when you make mistakes. So he said, don't be afraid to throw it away. Be smart. Don't try to run around back there like you're Johnny Football. Just get rid of the football.
2nd and 5 as Williams couldn't go anywhere. Impact players are brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We already saw a good look at Williams. All eyes are always on Christian Kirk. Coaches rave about his preparation. Sean Hamilton in the middle running the show for the Bama defense. And Minkah Fitzpatrick. There may not be a more versatile or more talented defensive player in the country. 3rd and 5. Some pressure off the edge. Mond incomplete to the outside of Christian Kirk.
The biggest area of development left for Kellen Mond, because he's very fast and is a good runner from the quarterback position, is just being more comfortable staying in the pocket and delivering the ball, trusting his protection. That time the protection was good enough, just threw the ball too high for Christian Kirk.
So Daniel LaCamera is going to come on, and this looks like it's going to be lined up for a 52-yarder, which would be a career long. Two-yard field goal from LaCamera.
Well, Alabama's opponents the last 2 weeks have scored a combined 3 points. So a pretty good start for the Texas A&M Aggies, getting on the board first.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. Book a room today and follow your team all the way. And in part by the 2017 Lincoln MKX.
Few college mascots are treated as royally as Reveille, the first lady of A&M, the former 5-star general mascots, buried in the Reveille Cemetery in the north end zone and facing the stadium so they can keep an eye on that scoreboard, which currently reads Aggies 3, Bama zip, here on College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive Game of the Week.
You know, Joe, that first defensive possession for Texas A&M was a huge confidence boost, because coming into the game, their run defense is ranked very high in college football, 15th in all of the FBS, 95.8 yards per game. The question is, was that a real number or was it a little bit of a mirage? Because that has been a weakness of this A&M defense the last couple of years. Last year, they gave up nearly 200 yards a game rushing. So tonight, against the best running team in this conference, they have to be stout against the run in that first possession. They absolutely were.
Big Dalen Mack anchor in the middle of that Aggies defensive line. First time Bama has trailed since the first half against Florida State back on September 2nd. Harris, nice cut, and here goes Damien Harris. Trying to chase him down, but Harris brings it all the way home. 75-yard touchdown run. I guess they don't take to trailing too much, Blackledge.
No, and they don't take to getting stopped on 3rd and short in their running game either. Right out with a huge touchdown run.
Damien Harris has found his high gear this year. Started a couple weeks ago in a game against Vandy when he went for a career high 151. As Papanastis just sneaks it through.
You cannot be out of position against this run game. Take a look at the linebackers and the safety. These two guys are both going to go this way too far, and then the safety is going to take a bad angle. You cannot make those kind of mistakes in your run defense. You have to fit perfectly. Two linebackers out of position, a safety with a bad angle, and Alabama, just like that, back out in front of the ball game.
A&M's lead lasted all of 13 seconds thanks to Damien Harris, a junior from Kentucky, his 7th touchdown of the year. A spectacular 75-yard burst. Here's the dangerous Christian Kirk. Ball is out. Still bouncing inside the 5. A flag is down as A&M's 12th man, Gillespie, was able to get back on it.
Well, I think the penalty is because Alabama batted the ball illegally. I think that was Mosley who batted the ball. Instead of trying to recover it, he was trying to bat it towards the end zone for maybe a touchdown. That is a break for Texas A&M. If Mosley just tries to recover.
During the return, holding number 86 of the receiving team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, so that's not what they come up with. Let's bring our rules expert, Bill Lamagna. Bill, how do you see that?
Well, you're allowed to bat the ball backwards when you're in the field of play. Is this just an accidental muff, or did he actually swipe with his arm and knock it forward because he couldn't get to it and he wanted one of his own guys to? That's a bat.
Yeah, he intentionally did that, Bill.
And he batted it forward. That should be a foul for illegal batting.
But the point is, if he just recovers it, it's Alabama's ball inside the 20-yard line with a chance to distance themselves in this game. That was a bad decision, not only to try to bat the ball, but to not recover it.
And now from the 1-yard line is the true freshman quarterback.
Every pass so far has been laterally. He has not thrown the ball down the field yet.
Maybe just a yard out of Williams.
Kellen Mond has shown great poise, very similar to Jalen Hurts as a young freshman last year. Tremendous poise and composure. That's a real trademark of this guy as well. This is a difficult situation right now. You're backed up way deep in your own territory against the #1 scoring defense in college football. You've got to be smart here and take care of the ball.
Crossed up, and Mond just able to get back to the line of scrimmage as Anthony Jennings was waiting on him, but Isaiah Buggs was the first to get into that backfield.
Yeah, something was messed up there. The backs almost ran into each other. And Mond did the smart thing of just trying to keep it himself and get what he could get. But here we are again with another 3rd down and long situation, backed up in your own territory.
3rd and 8.
Alabama showing coverage with 2 deep safeties here, not pressure.
Play it safe and just try to create a little bit of room for Shane Tripucka to punt with. Holly.
Well, Isaiah Buggs, number 49 of Alabama, has already made 2 great plays right there. He is actually getting a start tonight in place of Deshaun Hand, who is out for the Crimson Tide for a couple of weeks with a likely MCL strain. Guys, he has done a nice job in there, moving him out to defensive end, brings in Raekwon Davis, number 99, also starting tonight. So a little shuffle up front, but did not appear to affect the Crimson Tide. There's
the list of all the injuries, and now Tripucka needs to come up with a good effort here from his own end zone as Ruggs awaits. All the way inside the 40. Here is Ruggs as he makes his way towards midfield. But a good effort from Shane Tripucka. Of course, we always invite you to kick off your Week 5 NFL Sunday with ESPN starting at 10 a.m. Eastern with Sunday NFL Countdown. We'll give you all the injury updates and the previews right until kickoff. And then it is the Vikings and Bears at Soldier Field. Monday Night Countdown will begin at 6 Eastern. Mitchell Trubisky is going to get the start for Chicago. Speaking of the NFL, well, look who's there on the sidelines, Todd. One Von Miller on a bye week. One of the greats to play here in College Station. So good field position for Alabama. Play action. Hurts steps up in the pocket, tucks and picks up a couple of yards. Ball came out at the end there, and it looked like it was Bradley Bozeman smartly falling forward there.
Nice job of Texas A&M on their rush, keeping Jalen Hurts in the pocket, not allowing him to get outside the rush. He was down before the ball was ripped out, but that was a good, disciplined rush by A&M. They lead the SEC coming into the game with 20 sacks. Time for Ridley to get involved.
There's Irv Smith chopped down after a gain of about 1 by Dodson.
This Texas A&M defense has a lot of speed, and they rush the passer. They've got high sacks and high turnovers, but too many explosive plays they've given up. And they already gave up 1 for a 75-yard touchdown.
Number 1 in the SEC, as you mentioned. They had 7 sacks last week against South Carolina. And listen to Kyle Field. Third and 6. Hurts looking for options. Downfield and incomplete. Aggies defense again.
Nice job again, rushing with discipline and forcing Jalen Hurts to scramble out of the pocket to his left. For a right-handed quarterback, a lot more difficult to make this throw on the run. He doesn't have a quick read. He's flushed out to his left and not able to make an accurate throw moving that way.
So J.K. Scott on to bunt. Christian Kirk setting up shop at about the 8-yard line. See if Scott can pin this inside the 10. We'll be giving you a backstage pass all weekend long into college football. I'm going to take you behind the scenes and look at Texas A&M yell practice last night. First midnight yell was back in 1931. It begins when the yell leaders lead the Aggie band, the fans, the students into the stadium. And once there, leading the crowd in the traditional yells and all the traditions dating back to the earliest days of A&M. With a first visit here to call a game, Mr. Blackledge, you made your way to midnight
absolutely
yell.
Did. Holly Rowe and I went over there last night. Scott Johnson, our director, to try to just experience it, and it was pretty awesome, I have to admit. To see that many kids in the stadium and fans and young and old taking part in all those cheers.
Minkah Fitzpatrick coming in with some extra pressure, and quickly getting it out is Mond, smartly so to Keith Ford.
That was a free release by Keith Ford. Normally the back will stay in and help in protection. That's why he was open. He free released, and Mond quickly got him the football with pressure coming. Have to be productive on first down like that. Here's another shift of the tight end. Alabama changes their defense based on the tight end position.
2nd and 3, nothing in the middle there. Big Daron Payne closing in.
Now, The center for Texas A&M, Eric McCoy, just lost his helmet. He's going to probably have to come out for a play on this third down play. That means Colton Prater, number 76, will be in snapping on this third down play.
Now, he started 12 games last year and was the center in spring ball, struggled a bit, so that's why.
It's actually McCollum who's moved over. So Prater's at left guard, and McCollum has moved into snap.
And that's more in line with the results of this offseason as McCollum comes over to play center on third down and 4. Here's Mons with time. And now he's going to tuck, going to run, and going to dart ahead close to that line of make, but he was met by Ronnie Harrison. Let's see the spot.
I think he got a good spot. You know, it looked like Mond was kind of trying to decide, should he slide? Should he try to get to the sideline? He doesn't want to take unnecessary hits, but that time he knew he had to get to the first down marker, and he got a new set of downs for his team.
Rashaan Evans and Ronnie Harrison were right on him, but just enough for Kellen Mond.
Need to take a shot down the field soon. They haven't thrown the ball down the field.
As Ford hits that hole on the right side, Jennings with the tackle.
Christian Kirk was the leading receiver in the SEC last year. Had 83 receptions, dynamic guy with the ball in his hands, and teams know that. They roll coverage to him. They double him if they can. They put their best guys on him. Right now, Minkah Fitzpatrick is lined up over him. They've got to do things and find ways to get him the football.
2nd and 7. Mond spinning, gets free downfield, and that is incomplete as Clyde Chris wanted a penalty flag. Coverage came from Fitzpatrick.
Really nice job by Mond extending the play. He waited as long as he could. He didn't hurry out of the pocket unnecessarily. At the last minute, he rolls out and tries to give his guy a chance. The ball's a little bit behind him, and that enabled Fitzpatrick to get in there and make the play. Minkah Fitzpatrick is one of the best, if not the best player on the football field tonight.
First team All-America, the safety for the tie. 3rd and 7 throw from Mond as he was looking the side of Osborne, and a late flag comes in from about 20 yards away. And Saban will seek an explanation there.
At first, it looked like a miscommunication between quarterback and receiver, like the receiver was stopping on a route and the quarterback thought he was running deep. There was hand contact when the ball was in the air. It's a matter now, do they determine was it a catchable pass or not? That's what Levi Wallace is saying. That was not a catchable pass.
Pass interference. Defense number 39. Ball to be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
SEC referee Matt Austin and his crew say otherwise. First down, A&M.
There's definitely contact and a hold. The ball's in the air, and it still looked like a little bit of a miscommunication between quarterback and receiver, but A&M got the benefit of it.
Mond, pressure right up the middle. Somehow gets away from 3 Alabama would-be tacklers, and the ball is down. And it looked like Evans falls on it. Indeed he has. Alabama football.
It was the hit by Sean Dion Hamilton that knocked the ball loose. Kellen Mond is a little bit loose with the football. Good decision to run. Gets away from pressure, but watch, he does not tuck the ball. And the hit that gets him is the one he doesn't see. Right there by Dion Hamilton. Hit him in the back, knocked the ball loose. And Alabama comes up with the turnover. Not good enough ball security by the young quarterback. And Sean Dion Hamilton with a big hit for Alabama.
Turnovers have been the big story. Alabama hasn't had any this year. Opponents giving it right to them. After a tremendous athletic play by Mond, Fitzpatrick, Hamilton converge. Evans with the recovery. And Bo Scarborough goes ahead for a gain of 9.
Alabama was lucky on that play. Jalen Hurts actually turned the wrong way. He thought Bo Scarborough was coming to his left. He went to his right. He was still able to get him the football, and Bo was able to turn it into a 9-yard gain. Perfect opportunity right here. Well, there's another illegal substitution. Had too many guys.
Illegal substitution. Offense number 8. 12 players in the formation. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Backup running back Josh Jacobs made his way out onto the field and then was hesitant to run off. And you can see Brian Daboll next to Nick Saban quite frustrated with that. There's the first-year offensive coordinator. Took home a handful of Super Bowl rings with the Patriots. And after all the turmoil of Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian, he has been a steadying force. 2nd and 6. Good work on the interior of that line, and Dotson with the run fit.
Really strong at the point of attack. Again, Zay Henderson, number 92, right in the middle of it. Lined up over the center, Bozeman holds his ground. Good stout run defense.
Third and 7, looking to set up the screen. More pressure came from Alaka, and a flag is down as Hurts burned it.
He was not out of the tackle box when he threw it away. It's intentional grounding. Alaka came unblocked. It was a late pressure. Well designed by defensive coordinator John Chavis.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 2. Lost it down to the spot of the foul. 4th down.
Alaka's right here. He's going to come on a delayed rush, and it surprised Jalen Hurts. There was no back to pick him up. They were setting up a screen to Josh Jacobs to the left, and Jalen Hurts knew he had to get rid of the football. I'm a little surprised he didn't try to juke him and make a play with his legs.
Kirk awaits back at the 12. The senior from Denver, J.K. Scott, to punt away. With the exception of that big burst, the 75-yard run. Strong effort so far by the Aggies defense. Fair catch at the 16. College football rankings are brought to you by PlayStation.
You know, Joe, you mentioned pretty stout defense for A&M, but that's been their MO. They've got great numbers in a lot of things. As you take a look at the biggest upset of the day, Iowa State going into Norman and beating Oklahoma behind a backup quarterback. Kyle Kemp played his high school ball near where I live in
Massillon, Ohio, right?
Massillon Tigers.
Well, their head coach is up from that way. Matt Campbell is emerging as one of the better young head coaches in the game.
Part of the Larry Karras coaching tree out of Mount Union, Division III powerhouse in Alliance, Ohio.
Not much there for Williams as Evans and Payne converge for the tackle.
I just want to go back to this quick point. A&M's defense has great numbers in a lot of things, but the one number that is ugly is 32 plays, explosive plays of 10 yards or more. And John Chavis said, we cannot give up that many explosive plays. Other than that one play, they've been outstanding, but you cannot do that to the #1 team in the country. You can't give them free plays like that 75-yard touchdown.
2nd and 8, and just a yard there as Jennings makes the tackle of Williams. So the 3rd and long for Kellen Mond and the Aggies.
Consistency of Alabama's run defense under Nick Saban. Scoring defense and run defense, they have ranked in the top 10 every year under Nick Saban. They reload, they keep recruiting, they replace first-round draft picks, but they continue to stop the run and keep people out of the end zone. That's Jeremy Pruitt, the defensive coordinator.
His 2nd year as the DC in Tuscaloosa. 3rd and 8. Mond trying to extend the play as he was chased down by Keith Holcomb.
Really nice play by Holcomb. Holcomb comes in their dime package. He was rushing the quarterback from the edge and just pursued Kellen Mond the whole way to the sideline.
there's Shane Trapuka out there. Comes from a great family of athletes. Of course, grandfather Frank, an all-time great with the Broncos. Uncle Kelly, an NBA All-Star. Father Chris was a wide receiver on Flutie's Cotton Bowl team for BC. And he gets away a good one here. Let's check in with the studio and Adnan.
All right, Tess, thank you very much. Playing with Confidence update brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. Kansas State and Texas. Jesse Ertz to Dalton Schoen over the middle, and Schoen is shining here. Currently, K-State up 10-0. It's early in the second quarter in Texas. Tess?
Keep tabs on what is happening there in the Big 12. Of course, that is the headline of the day, what happened earlier in the Big 12 with Iowa State's upset of number 3 Oklahoma.
Well, the guy who has not touched the ball or seen the ball yet is the leading receiver on this team, Calvin Ridley, number 3. I would expect early in this possession, they'll try to get his hands on the football. He's in the slot, closest to the quarterback.
Scarborough couldn't find that seam as Kingsley Keke closed the door. Well, what do we have here?
First quarter is coming to an end.
In College Station, Aggies defense holding strong. Bama up 7-3. Alabama has 11 total plays. 10 have gone for 9 yards, 1 for 75 yards, Tom.
And that's been the problem for Texas A&M's defense this year. Great numbers in terms of sacks, in terms of run defense, but they've given up too many big plays. Coming into the game, 32 plays of 20 yards or more. That's too many to play great defense. And the one they gave up tonight is the reason they're behind on the scoreboard.
Jalen Hurts and a tight offense. Set to face a 2nd and 8 to start the second quarter here. And he's able to get it complete out past midfield to Calvin Ridley, their leading receiver.
Now, their numbers are so skewed in their passing game. Now, granted, they're running for over 300 yards a game, but for Ridley now, that is his 25th reception, and the next closest receiver is running back Bo Scarborough with 7. No other receiver has more than 6.
Scarborough, look at him push the pile as Pierce Baker in front of him getting a ride for 5 yards. And here is that breakdown when it comes to how they distribute the ball with the passing game.
Well, and I think it's just a matter of that's just where the ball is going. I don't think that Jalen Hurts is staring at Calvin Ridley and ignoring other receivers because they've got talent. Robert Foster is maybe the fastest receiver. Cam Sims is a big target. Jerry Jeudy is a promising freshman with all kind of ability.
2nd and 6 as Hurts.
You see that little
Always
juke?
Dangerous with the legs.
The little juke, because Tyrell Dodson, number 25, kind of had him in his sights. He was mirroring him. Watch the middle linebacker. He's going to mirror the quarterback and be in position to make a play. But watch this subtle little juke. It just froze Dodson just enough to get to the outside.
First down pass now. Going to take a shot downfield. And that goes to Cam Sims, but he is out of bounds as Howard had coverage. Now there's his mom, Pamela. Dad Abrion is a local coach at Channelview High. They had a Thursday night game. And there is Pops. And they're talking some ball. Saying, what'd you think about that throw?
Angrily talking ball.
Second and 10. Hurts on the slant. That is incomplete. Again, it was Sims, the intended target. Let's go down to the field to Holland.
Well, moments after he won against Ole Miss last week, Jalen Hurts on the field told me, hey, I'm going home next week. He was so excited to be playing about 90 miles from his hometown, Houston, Texas. He came out in the pregame and he had Houston, Texas on his wristbands. He was trying to represent, but the officials told him, hey, son, you cannot wear that. He had to turn them inside out, but I'm pretty sure he would want me to tell the Houston fans out
get so many thoughts with the hurricane from last month of friends and family back home. 3rd and 10. Pressure comes. He gets away from it, tucks and runs for about 3.5 yards as Dotson tracked him down.
Again, good disciplined pass rush by Texas A&M. They realize how dangerous Jalen Hurts can be if he gets outside the pocket. That time they forced him up, in, and then when he tried to break it out, they were able to get enough maroon jerseys to the football.
So Nick Saban, who uses 2 place kickers, will send the longtime starting punter, J.K. Scott, out onto the field.
Made a 48-yarder last week.
This a 50-yard attempt. And it's no good. So those in Houndstooth not so happy with that.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton.
Now Texas A&M is 2-12 all time against the #1 ranked team. Of course, recent history includes Manziel toppling the #1 Bama. Christian Kirk, one of the best playmakers in all of college football, yet to touch the ball on offense, targeted just once time.
Well, they've got to find ways to get him the football. Last week, South Carolina game, 4 catches, 13 yards. He was a non-factor, even though they won the game. They can't beat Alabama with him being a non-factor.
So after the missed field goal, Mons, ball is up in the air and harmlessly floats back down. Are they claiming this as a live ball? Sean Hamilton picked it up, and we've got officials saying touchdown. Anthony Jennings made the hit. Hamilton smartly goes and picks it up, returns it, and on the field they're saying a touchdown.
Well, you can always review it. Watch Anthony just run right through the right tackle. Just blew him up.
Fumbles under further review.
And got to the quarterback. He was definitely throwing. He was definitely, the arm was coming forward. But it's right to rule it as a fumble because you can always go back and change it. If you rule it an incomplete pass and it ends up being a fumble, that's not as good. Power rush by Anthony Jennings.
Well, it seems pretty clear to see, but let's bring in our longtime rules expert, Bill LeMonnier. Billy?
I see the arm going forward. Replay shouldn't have any difficulty making this an incomplete forward pass, and A&M gets the ball back.
Al Ford is our replay official upstairs.
If I could comment about, I understand what Todd says about the outcomes if you rule it one way or the other, but if you really know this is a fumble, I never believed in putting it in replay's hands if it's my responsibility to do it. And I know Matt didn't do that.
Right. Well, I just think I agree with you, Bill, and I think that's, you got to make calls with confidence and not rely on the replay. I just think from a player standpoint, it's better if they make it ruled that way.
Now they should clean this up here.
After review, the quarterback's arm was moving forward. Therefore, it's an incomplete. Ball will be placed at the previous spot. 2nd down. Clock operator, please set the game clock to 12:34.
The problem.
12:34.
The good news for A&M is they get the ball back and it's 2nd and 10. The bad news is they've got to do a better job of protecting their quarterback. They've got to throw the football some, and 1st downs are the best time to throw it. But you got to protect the guy. And that time, their starting right tackle, Keaton Sutherland,
Please reset the game clock
just
to
got
12:34.
bulldozed.
12:34.
You can see the difference Anthony Jennings makes with this Alabama defense. He came back a couple weeks ago, was injured week 1 against Florida State. So we reset it to a 2nd and 10. It's for maybe 1.5 yards there. Well, Brian Ray, who's getting some playing time tonight with the tackle.
Alabama's defensive line, they rotate guys in, and they're so good with their hands and holding their position. They play 2 gaps and they just tie up blockers and eat up space. That's why they're so hard to run against.
3rd and 9. Looks like they may come after young Mr. Mond. Well, they only bring 4. Back off and right into the hands of Christian Kirk. First down, Aggies.
Well, they showed pressure, and watch Kirk's going to do a nice job of finding a seam right between the corner and Minkah Fitzpatrick and sitting down for his quarterback. Now a little tempo.
And Isaiah Buggs able to stay with Keith Ford.
Isaiah Buggs is having a heck of a game. Holly reported that earlier. He's the guy that had to step up with the Deshaun hand injury. It's his opportunity. 6'5", 293 junior out of Ruston, Louisiana, is off to a heck of a game so far.
He was a JUCO transfer they brought in, was the #1 rated defensive end coming out of JUCO. 2nd and 9.
Christian Kirk started in the backfield, now exchanged with Keith Ford. A little razzle-dazzle formation-wise, empty now.
Mond with time, and he is able to get it complete to the near side, as that was Jamon Osborne, his former teammate at IMG.
It was kind of interesting talking to the coaches. Mond was on his way to Baylor. Osborne was on his way to LSU with early commitments. Tate Martell was the quarterback coming here. He changed his mind and went to Ohio State, and all of a sudden, Kellen Mond and Osborne both decided to come together to Texas A&M.
True freshman combination. 3rd and 3. Ratley, as he didn't hold on inbounds there. As Mond put it up for the senior Damian Ratley.
Took a shot at it. Ball just thrown a little bit too far outside. Ratley trying to keep his foot in. Fourth down, but a chance for A&M with a good punt here to try to pin Alabama deep in their own territory. Alabama, I don't think they will on this one, but so far, every punt, they have really tried to come after La Camara.
Trapuka with the reverse rotation here, looking to pin this inside the 10, and fair catch at the 9. More to come from Aggieland when we return. 7-3 game.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Start game day strong with the new breakfast hash brown scramble bowl. And Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
The woven history of 2 legends sharing these 2 schools, Bama and A&M, Gene Stallings and Bear Bryant. And there's a reason why the end zones are painted maroon with 1967 there, 50th anniversary of the Southwest Conference champions and the Cotton Bowl champions here in College Station, coached by one young then Gene Stallings in victory over his teacher, Bear Bryant. Check in with Holly.
Well, I want to give a special shout out to the grounds crew and their manager, Craig Potts. They have painted the end zones maroon for the first time since 1969, and it wasn't that easy, guys. They actually had to get in maroon paint, extra gallons, about 16 extra gallons. It took a long time, about over 20 hours to get these end zones painted, and they've got special decal in the end zone, the AT&M, the old logo, to honor that team.
College Football Hall of Famer Stallings is here tonight, as Harris will take it for a first down. You know, he had a heart attack last weekend. We wish him the very best. But you want to talk about a tough guy? He was on a ventilator for 2 days up in Dallas at a hospital. It's a junction boy now, Todd Blackledge. He's here tonight. He had a major medical issue 7 days ago, and Coach Stallings is here tonight to celebrate that 50th anniversary. I think the Bear would be proud indeed. Harris again, as he's able to get through for a gain of 3. Adnan.
Tess, our AT&T Field Pass takes us to the Big House. 110th all-time meeting between Michigan and Michigan State. First time, though, at night. This is Brian Lewerke here for the Spartans. Paul Bunyan Trophy on the line, and the Spartans have a 7-3 lead. It's on ABC. Joe?
Big strike downfield to Devontae Smith, goes incomplete.
Really well played that time by Devion Renfro. Was in single coverage. His team plays a lot of man coverage. He's a long, lanky cornerback, and as the ball gets there, he makes a play fighting through. and brings up third down for Jalen Hurts.
And brings a lot of sound with it. Hurts, can he escape? Yes, with ease. And Jalen Hurts still on the go, cuts back inside the 40 and finally brought down by Watts.
You just can't miss opportunities. Otaro Alaka, one of their best players, he is going to rush. He's going to get blocked by Damian Harris at first, but he has a chance to tackle Jalen Hurts right here. Misses the tackle, and Jalen Hurts turns it into a big play.
38-yard run on 3rd and 6, that extra dimension of his. This time taken down for a loss as Tyrel Dodson continues his strong season.
Jalen Hurts, you take a look when he's most dangerous. They have not had a quarterback called run yet tonight. And this season, most effective when he takes off after he reads something that he sees, an opening, a receiver not open, and he's very difficult to tackle because of his lower body strength.
2nd and 12 now. Scarborough was patiently waiting for that block of Hentges, and with his weight able to muscle ahead for a gain.
Bo Scarborough running with some toughness, man. I mean, Damian Harris has the big burst, the 75-yard run, but Bo Scarborough is running with some physicality for this Alabama offense tonight.
6'2", and just a Southern biscuit short of 240 pounds. That kind of power running that we saw in last year's postseason before he suffered a fracture of his right leg in the national championship game. 3rd and 6. Hurts with time, and he gets it complete for a first down to Ridley.
Well, Ridley just turned his defender around. The little bunch formation or the stack formation created some separation, and Renfro, who made a nice play on the deep ball, was beaten on that out route by Ridley.
Hurts, first down. Scarborough with blockers in front as he is cut down inside the 20-yard line by Watts.
Armani Watts is the heart and soul of this defense now that his buddy Donovan Wilson, who was injured in the UCLA game, is out for the year. Armani Watts, team's leading tackler, coming in tonight.
Scarborough on 2nd down is brought down at the 16-yard line by Anthony Hines.
I'll tell you what, I've seen enough already of this A&M run defense. They are much better than they were a year ago. They did give up the big run, but they are much more fundamentally sound against the run this year than they were a year ago.
Third and 5. Pressure. Hurts survives it. And then nearly picked off that time. It was Hines coming in like a human missile. The 11th play of a drive that started at their own 9, and the Aggies defense holds.
Well, and Hines is lucky he's right here. He's going to come inside. He's lucky that he didn't grab the face mask or the helmet area of Jalen Hurts. Hurts able to shake it off, but good pressure by A&M.
So we saw J.K. Scott attempt the long field goal. Now for the shorter field goal attempt, it is the senior Andy Papadastis. This from 34 yards. And he puts it through. Alabama being tested a bit tonight by this defense. 10-3 game here in College Station. A little different than the last couple weeks of Bama football we witnessed. Next Saturday, it's the 112th Red River Rivalry. Baker Mayfield and number 3 Oklahoma. They're going to have a new number next to that name when they take on Texas at the Cotton Bowl. 3:30 Eastern. It'll be on ABC or ESPN. Iowa State pulled off the upset today. Sooners.
One of the things that Texas A&M worked on in practice is a fake reverse on the kickoff return. They're not even going to have a chance on this one.
Let's go to the studio and check in with Adnan.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Just want to update you this time on Kansas State and Texas. We showed you earlier that the Jayhawks have the lead. This time, Sam Ehlinger to Chris Warren III. Longest reception of his career goes for 33 yards. So the Longhorns back at it right now. 17-14 for the Wildcats late in the second. Joe?
So freshman quarterback from Austin, Texas for the Longhorns. And here for the Aggies, the freshman quarterback from San Antonio who finished up his prep career down at IMG. Kellen Mond, who was forced into action in the second half of that opening week game against UCLA. Nick Starkel left injured. I'll give you an update on Starkel and what's been going on with his recovery a little later on. And now the Aggies back to business here, trailing by a touchdown at home to the #1 team in the country. Swinging it out of the backfield to Williams, and he keeps his balance and fights for more yardage against Hootie Jones. 17 yards there.
See, those plays are just like run plays. Rather than hand it off and try to beat your way in between the tackles, throw it wide, catch the ball quickly, and then just run a wide running play after the short catch. That's a good first down play for A&M.
Williams again, this time brought down by Joshua Frazier.
Just not a lot of room to run right now against this Alabama defense, and the ball was out.
Came out at the end of that.
They are giving it to Alabama.
That is Alabama's football. As Raekwon Davis
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by Alabama. First down.
I'll tell you, in this first half, we have had some interesting moments of literally at the edge of the whistle, the ball coming loose or beyond.
Well, I was looking at the replay of this play. I couldn't see the ball get out.
There's a lot of humanity in there. No, ruling on the field is that it is a fumble and a recovery.
Right there, you saw the ball at the very
Alabama.
end of the play, but when it came out, I couldn't tell.
It's still tough to tell on that angle as McCoy is in the way. Let's see, as Frazier comes in with that left arm.
His butt's on the ground. Is the ball out before his rear end hits the ground? That's kind of the question.
Listen, ruling on the field is fumble and recovery Alabama. There it is. That's the best look.
Previous ruling of a fumble is under further review.
Limited look, but at least they have something to work with. And keep in mind, and what's critical here is the ruling on the field. Ruling on the field has Alabama's offense trotting out there. As Travion Williams coughed it up as he was going down to the ground.
I still don't know if he fumbled it or if it was completely out when he hit the ground.
Raekwon Davis with the recovery. There is 6'7", 300-pounder from Meridian, Mississippi.
But again, Alabama, one of the stories of their season this year so far, 0 turnovers by their offense. They had forced 10 coming into the game, already have 1 in this one, and looking to get another one. They're hard enough to play against when you just take care of the ball. You can't give them freebies. We saw poor ball security by Kellen Mond on his fumble, and Travion Williams not really secure with the football there.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Alabama football.
Alabama will take over in prime position with just over 5 minutes to play in the first half. Yet to turn the ball over themselves this year. Meanwhile, taking 21 of them away.
Raekwon Davis, another guy getting his first start tonight because of the injury to Deshaun Hand. Big play there.
Here's Hurts on first down. Ridley chopped down. Good play coming up that time. Armani Watts.
Armani Watts just has a nose for the football. He makes big plays. 9 career interceptions, 5 career forced fumbles, and a big tackle in the open field right there.
2nd and 11.
Double eagle. This is pressure look on second down.
Hurts to pass again. And this time gets it complete to Calvin Ridley for a first down.
This is good work in the pocket by Jalen Hurts. This is the part of his game that is developing more than ever. He feels the rush and he steps up in the pocket and then delivers the football to Ridley. Low and away for the completion. He didn't panic. He moved up in the pocket and he made the nice throw.
Harris going to test that right side. Finds a seam inside the 20 and still muscling his way all the way down to the 1-yard line is Damien Harris.
Really good job. Watch the right tackle, Womack, stay on his block. Extends this play. There's a player down for A&M in the end zone. Matt Womack, number 77, did a great job on that play, staying on his block of Landis Durham.
It's Antonio Howard, defensive back, who's down for the Aggies.
Again, watch the right side, and in particular, the right tackle, Matt Womack, stay on his block and just keep driving his man down the field. And Damien Harris just kind of got right on his hip and followed him inside the 5-yard line.
As Howard walks off, and Damien Harris has now his 5th 100-yard game of his career. And a 75-yard touchdown earlier tonight after A&M took the lead on the field goal.
180 yards rushing now for this Alabama offense, coming in averaging 315 yards a game, and they are churning it out on this drive.
And they're going to go jumbo here with Hentges and Smith, and Bo Scarborough will be the back. Of course, Hurts no lightweight himself, and with all that power leading the way, oh so easy for Jalen Hurts.
Calvin Ridley with a nice block. You don't normally see him blocking too much. He came in short motion and he got the key block. Watch number 3 come in, get the block on the defensive end, just kind of get in his way, and Jalen Hurts knows how to find the end zone.
Now 47 career touchdowns he's responsible for is Jalen Hurts, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. So that fumble recovery, it gave them the short field. Davis set him up. And then Jalen Hurts and all that muscle in front mows him down. And you know who's going to have a smile on her face. Mom, not far from home. Pamela's loving it. A beautiful scene moments ago. 82-year-old Gene Stallings honored here with his team from 50 years ago. Cotton Bowl winners against Alabama. And keep in mind, as we told you, the big medical issue with Coach Stallings. Just last week, suffered a heart attack, was hospitalized, and made a point to be here with his players. And that scene of them helping him and holding him, quite touching, Todd.
True picture of courage right there. Gene Stallings, great man, great coach. Did some reading on that 1967 team that won the Southwest Conference Championship. They started the year 0-4. Lost their first conference game to SMU in the opener and battled back and finished strong, and then beat Alabama in the Cotton Bowl.
He got the job at 29 years old. Let's go to the studio to Adnan.
All right, Tess, thank you very much. Coming up in the Mercedes-Benz halftime report, bummer Sooner. A stunning loss for the Sooners. They're 30.5-point favorites, yet somehow they fall to Iowa State in Norman. Plus, Miami and Florida State, another instant classic as the Hurricanes and Malik Rozier lead them to victory. Plus, an update what's happening in the Big House between Michigan and Michigan State. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, and me coming up the half. Tess, back to you.
I look forward to that. Folks, if you haven't seen what Joel Lanning did today, the Iowa State player who plays offense and defense. Stick around to see what the boys will be talking about at halftime, as well as tonight on College Football Final. An Iron Man performance by Lanning in a classic upset. Keith Ford now with just over 3 minutes to play in this first half.
Texas A&M has done some good things in this ball game, particularly on defense, but they gave up a few big plays and then 2 costly turnovers by their offense. Again, it's tough enough to beat the #1 team in the country, a team in Alabama that does not normally beat themselves. You can't give them free gifts, and that's one area they've got to be better at the rest of this game.
2nd and 7, checks down to Ford. Nice jump cut and a good effort to get close to that line. It should be a first down. Taco Bell's a proud partner of the college football playoff, and we're always on the lookout for the Taco Bell student section. And this is, of course, one of the most lively student sections of all. Talk about that pulse of Aggie lands. Now it is throbbing with a high beat tonight with #1 in town. Keith Ford, another good cut out to the 40-yard line.
It's a really nice play. Watch the center, Eric McCoy, get out in front of this play. He's the uncovered lineman. He's going to lead on this play. Takes a pretty athletic guy at the center position to get out in front of the back like that. Gets a nice block on Sean Dion Hamilton. And Ford with a nice game.
Second and 5. Williams out of the backfield, right to his fingertips, and then he accelerates past midfield for another first down.
Really nice block out there by Aaron Hansford, number 15. That was the key to the play. Hansford getting a block on the perimeter, and now Texas A&M with something going here on the Alabama side of the 50-yard line.
Just under 90 seconds to play here in this first half, trailing by 2 touchdowns. 3 timeouts remain. That is Kirk in motion. Always got to watch where he is. Mond. He's going to tuck and run and smartly slide down as Bugs was tracking.
It seems like every time Texas A&M is trying to throw the football down the field, as the Aggies take a timeout, they aren't able to protect their quarterback.
Kevin Sumlin's offense on the move here before the half.
You're watching that, while Dari, Gene, and Chris are watching this, doing that, and talking to this guy, which means you can watch it all later when you tune in to SEC Now, tonight on the SEC Network.
Now that is a DVR daily record for me, Dari and the guys, and tonight they will be talking about LSU sneaking by Florida 17-16. Did you see what South Carolina, by the way, did to Arkansas? 48-22 win.
In the second half, and then all of a sudden it was an avalanche.
2nd and 8 now. 1:10 left. Here's Mond and the Aggies. Once again, Williams out of the backfield. They've had success, but not this time with Minkah Fitzpatrick playing it.
Yeah, it's a little different when he's the guy out on the edge. It was the same blocker, Aaron Hansford, who did a great job the time before on this same kind of play, but blocking an All-American is a little different, and Minkah Fitzpatrick fought off the block and made the tackle and forced another timeout by Texas A&M.
1 timeout remains for the Aggies here. They'll be facing a 3rd and 10.
You know, Texas A&M is a pass offense that likes to get everybody out and really just kind of rely on 5 blockers. And right now, the 5 guys blocking for A&M in pass protection aren't as good as the 5 or 4 guys rushing for Alabama. And Kellen Mond has not been able to be very comfortable in the pocket and throw the football down the field.
So what we've seen is 4 receptions for Williams, 1 running back, 3 receptions for Ford, the other running back, and only 1 reception for the dangerous Christian Kirk downfield. And you can see what has been happening on 3rd down for Alabama opponents. Of course, the past couple weeks with Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, those box scores defensively were almost flawless. Now a 3rd and 10. Mons, and there is Kirk as he is tackled about 2 yards short of the stick to make. Tony Brown was right on top of him.
Well, I think they're going to go for it here too. 4th down. We're inside of a minute. A&M still has one timeout. They don't want to waste too much time here, but they need to convert.
4th and 2. Ford and Mon in the backfield for the Aggies. To pass on 4th down. Now he wants to tuck, and he will barely get back to the line of scrimmage. A turnover on downs. Anthony Jennings with the tackle.
The pass rush has been phenomenal. We've talked about Isaiah Buggs. Watch Isaiah Buggs collapse the pocket on this play. Here he is right here, number 49. He's going to run right through the left guard and just collapse the pocket and force Kellen Mond to lead. Downfield, Alabama, they do a nice job exchanging on that rub route. Christian Kirk had a little separation, but Kellen Mond had to take his eyes off of the field and look at the rush and came up short on the scramble. The pass rush for Alabama has overpowered A&M here in this first half.
As it often does to so many opponents. And now Hurts to pass, and that is burning up a worm in front of Calvin Ridley.
Well, Alabama's sitting here with all 3 timeouts. I mean, there's only 22 seconds, and they're going to get the ball to start the second half. So there's really no need to be foolishly aggressive. But with 3 timeouts, you can see if you can make one first down and then take a shot to get into field goal range possibly.
Hurts will run it himself. He didn't slide there. Instead, he took the hit from Tucker. 15 seconds remain here.
See, that's what you get the first down, and now you use one of your timeouts.
The first timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
So with 15 seconds, you can maybe take a shot at one more pass completion and then set up for a long field goal attempt.
Folks, if you haven't figured it out by now, do so, because the ESPN app will be your best friend all season long. You can stream every game on ESPN or ABC College Football, so download that ESPN app and start streaming now. J.K. Scott seeing if he will get an opportunity. He attempts the longer field goals. He missed from 50 earlier tonight. As the ball just over midfield, 15 seconds remaining, 2 timeouts for Alabama. Hurts steps up, taken down at the line of scrimmage by Dotson. He has been very active tonight. 8 seconds remain, and another timeout used by Nick Saban. Saban said last night that he's very impressed with what he was able to see with Texas A&M so far this year. In spots, the defense able to do their job.
Yeah, in spots, but the running game, they gave up the 75-yard run. They've given up a couple big scrambles to Jalen Hurts, and now here's Alabama sitting at about 200 yards of rushing in the first half. It feels like they've played better defense, but again, the big plays that they've given up, particularly in the run game so far to Alabama. I think they've done a good job of negating the big pass plays, but the run game has hurt them.
Some missed opportunities for A&M as well, with a couple key turnovers, and Alabama got their hands on, and then the turnover on downs moments ago. Hurts. He's going to be wrestled down again, as double zeros have hit the clock. Hurts had a rushing touchdown in that first half. Damian Harris had the big one, 75 yards, after the Aggies jumped out in front with the field goal early on. Let's go down to Holly.
Well, Coach, you had some changes without Deshaun Hand up front. How do you think your line has adapted with an effective pass rush?
Well, you know, we're getting too much pressure in the pocket. We busted a couple big runs, made a couple explosive plays, but the consistency in being able to run the ball and protect the quarterback is not what it needs to be.
All right, and on the perimeter, Texas A&M's done a good job getting some movement on that perimeter. What do you change there?
Well, the linebackers got to adjust out when a guy runs a flare. They've hit it 3 or 4 times, 10 yards of play, and, you know, they got a single blocker on the strong safety or Minka out there, and, you know, we just got to do a better job of adjusting.
Thank you so much. Adnan, let's go to you.
All right, Holly, thank you very much. It is
52-yard field goal from LaCamera. Nice cut, and here goes Damian Harris. Harris brings it all the way home. 75-yard touchdown run. Oh, so easy for Jalen Hurts. Yeah, for 13 seconds, Bama actually trailed in the game.
Welcome back to Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
17-3 is our score at the half. Number 1 on top. Hurts with a touchdown run. Harris with a touchdown run, as this is college football primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. A&M defense was solid with the exception of 3 big plays. It went for 75. You saw the touchdown there, 38 and 27. And then you can't give the ball to Bama. 2 costly fumbles.
No, very costly, and just really kind of turned the game. You're playing your hearts out. You're getting some stops. Offensively, they weren't able to run the football very well in that first half, only 41 yards. That'll be a big challenge for them here in the second half. But the turnovers and the big plays, the story of the game.
Here's moments ago, Holly with Coach Sumlin.
Well, Coach Sumlin, it seemed like your defense played really well for so many opportunities, and then they just spring a leak. How did you address those big plays given up?
Well, yeah, it's come down to the same thing, just what you said, big plays and turnovers. Of which, you know, we can control that. We got to be able to handle that situation and hang on the football. Defense is playing hard. Just got to eliminate big plays.
What did you say to your team in the locker room? You know, times like this, people get rolled by Alabama. They have some fight in them in the second half here?
Yeah, we're fine. We just got to keep playing. I mean, we've been in this position before this year. You know, and our energy levels got to stay high. We just got to stay together and keep playing.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
They have had moments this year where they've had second half sparks, but obviously this is a much different beast in facing Bama and Jalen Hurts, who looks to turn the corner.
Nice block by Irv Smith, the tight end, leading on that. That's the second designed quarterback run we've seen in the ball game. The touchdown run late in the first half, and that one.
Son of the former NFL tight end, Irv Senior. First-round pick back in '93 by the Saints. Damian Harris, as he is met, and will lose about half a yard. That was Devion Renfro.
Big opportunity right here for the A&M defense. First possession out of the locker room. The crowd wants to get back in this game. A stop here could swing momentum a little bit for the Aggies.
Yell leaders don't need to lead too much with this crowd. 3rd and 4. First down, Calvin Ridley and more. Midfield and beyond. And a flag comes in at the end of it.
Well, this is a pretty route combination by 3 receivers close together, and it really fooled the coverage.
Personal foul, face mask, number 4 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
True freshman Derek Tucker who gets nabbed there.
Here's Ridley right here, but he's going to start out and then come back in, and during that combination, 2 defenders are going to get stuck on 1 receiver, and nobody picks up Ridley. And Jalen Hurts alertly sees it and gets him the football. It's the end of the play. We saw the head turn, and that's what the officials saw.
Chris tackled for a loss. That was a tremendous effort of Alaka being the first to get in, and then Watts pursuing as well.
This is a pressure defense, a defense that prides themselves on creating negative plays. As you take a look at Ridley, slow to get up the end of that play. Their leading receiver, he's been more active as a blocker tonight than a receiver. Here he is right here, getting involved in the run game. Just kind of gets caught up in the fray on the inside.
And big Jonah Williams, the left tackle, as well as a defensive lineman coming up. And that big surf crashed down on Calvin Ridley. 2nd and 14. There's Scarborough out of the backfield as he darts back in and is inside the 20-yard line.
Well, we saw Irv Smith with a good block earlier in this drive. This time it's the other tight end, Hale Henches, out there as a slot receiver, getting a big block and opening the way for Scarborough. These tight ends for Alabama aren't used a ton in the passing game right now, but they are valuable blockers on the perimeter and in the run game.
3rd and 3. And they're able to stop him a yard short. And Saban's team will be facing a 4th down at the 15-yard line on this opening drive of the second half. Fourth and 1, tied offense still on the field. First down, Alabama. It'll be a 1st and goal. Scarborough does it.
Beautiful block by Ross Piercebaker, the left guard. It's kind of a read play. It's kind of a zone read play, but watch the block by Piercebaker right here, number 71. Now take his man and turn him out. That's Jarrett Johnson, and Scarborough at 230 pounds. Once he gets his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, you're not going to stop him on 4th and 1.
Medical staff is out on the field as an A&M defensive player is still down. I believe that's Tyrell Dodson, the middle linebacker, and they're going to help him up. Dodson has really emerged as the young leader of this defense. Let's go to the field to Holly.
Well, I wanted to update you on Calvin Ridley while we had this chance, and then I'll check on Dodson. Ridley, for Alabama, their wide receiver, went to the sideline. He was so antsy, he wouldn't even go sit in their tent that they put up to try to examine people. The athletic trainer, Jeff Allen, had to try to rub some substance on his knee and try to examine him as he was prancing up and down the sideline. He wants to be back in this game so badly. He's got a left kneecap injury, but he wants to be out on the field.
You see he's on that bike, trying to stay warm. As they tend to him, it's a 1st and goal for his offense. Scarborough remains in as the back, as Hurts pulls it and struggles to get to the edge against that pursuit of the Aggies defense.
Well, and you see the strength of Jalen Hurts. We've talked about his lower body strength, his upper body strength. Was a power lifter for a few years in high school, and he just shrugs off arm tackles. That was Renfro, who had a chance to stop him behind the line of scrimmage, and Jalen Hurts just kind of threw him off and took it for a decent game.
2nd and goal.
A dangerous combination between Scarborough and Hurts in this part of the field.
Here's Ruggs, touchdown tie. The true freshman, Henry Ruggs, with the 8-yard touchdown reception.
A beautiful job by Jalen Hurts, using his eyes to move the defense one way and come back and throw the other way. Watch Jalen Hurts use his eyes to move the safety this way and then come back to the right. Eyes to the left, plant, throw back to the right, and a touchdown.
Ruggs got great upside, and he's got a big heart. He's dedicated his college football career to his lost high school friend, Rod Scott, who died in a car accident. And you will see much more of this as his career continues. Henry Ruggs, the touchdown for Alabama, 24-3. Jalen Hurts, 7th touchdown pass. All States, all hands in play.
Well, he talked about Jalen Hurts using his eyes to look off the safety, but he knew that he had man coverage, and the one he wanted was right here. He wanted his wide receiver working on a linebacker, Olaka. So he looks left, he knows what he has on the backside, and that's a mismatch. A wide receiver against an outside linebacker. He picks the right guy, and Alabama scores on an impressive drive to start the third quarter.
So now 7 passing touchdowns on the year for Hurts, 4 rushing, 48 in his career he's responsible for. Here's Clyde Chris on the return for the Aggies as he gets down at the 19. Here's Holly.
Well, guys, earlier last week, Joe Tiller, the beloved coach of Wyoming and Purdue, passed away, and it had a big impact on Texas A&M coach Kevin Sumlin. He said, you know, outside of my father, Joe Tiller had perhaps the greatest influence on me of any man in my life. He gave him a job as a GA when he got out of playing for Coach Tiller. He said, multiple stops along the way, he taught me how to be a coach, and there will be a celebration of life for Coach Tiller in Wyoming on Wednesday. Coach Sumlin is going to fly up and attend that. I was able to talk to Joe Tiller's widow Arnett today, and she said, you know, we're planning a party for Joe. He's just not going to be here. They're expecting over 500 people to their little town in Wyoming.
Joe Tiller passing away last weekend at 74 years old.
You know, Holly mentioned that he played for Joe Tiller. Kevin Sumlin did at Purdue, was hired as a GA at Washington State. His first full-time job came from Joe Tiller as a wide receiver coach at Wyoming. And, you know, Joe Tiller, really one of the first real innovators also in the passing game. Basketball on grass when he was at Purdue. Changed the way football was played in the Big Ten.
Here is Christian Kirk. This guy can change things in a hurry. A quick burst as he darts out at the 47-yard line.
Well, very similar route to the touchdown we saw Alabama run just a second ago. He's going to start inside. He's working on Fitzpatrick and freezes him and then back out to the outside for a nice game. He has not had a lot of freedom so far in this football game.
Keep it on the ground here with Williams as he picks up 2 yards. Payne with the tackle.
Coming into this ball game, Texas A&M and their other 2 SEC games, they ran for 285 yards against Arkansas and 237 against South Carolina, but a different deal with this Alabama defense. Only 46 yards rushing so far in the ball game.
Williams, good spin move and a first down for the Aggies.
Good hard run. Again, they pull the center. McCoy, who gets a block on the middle linebacker, Sean Dion Hamilton. And A&M now going a little bit of tempo.
Receivers double stacked as Williams remains the back, and he will try the left side for a moment, but Isaiah Buggs so quick to penetrate.
Isaiah Buggs has just played a very solid ball game. He's rushed the passer, he's played the run, and he has stepped in there very admirably for the injured Deshaun Hand.
Deshaun Hand, the starter, who injured his knee in the second half last week against Ole Miss. A sprained MCL was carted off the field last Saturday night. Kellen Mond to pass. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 9.
Texas A&M is still trying to find another receiver to threaten the defense outside of Christian Kirk. They've got a lot of young guys, a lot of true freshmen that are in the rotation. Of course, Damian Ratley, number 4, is a senior, but a lot of young guys in that receiver rotation. And right now, nobody able to loosen up this Alabama defense and help out Christian Kirk.
An empty look here on 3rd and 9 as Kendall Bussey widens out to the top of your screen. Kirk now motions a look that way and then tuck and try to run right up the middle against the Bama defense. Good luck against Daron Payne and Fitzpatrick closing.
They tried to use Christian Kirk as a decoy on this play, faking like they were going to throw the swing pass. But Alabama's front four, it was only a 4-man rush, and they were disciplined in closing the gap on Kellen Mond.
4th and 6 now in no man's land. As Mond checks over. True freshman quarterback going up against #1 Alabama. 4th and 6. Incomplete.
Would have been short even if the catch is made. Tight coverage that time by Shaheem Carter. And A&M turns it over on downs.
Second time they've had a turnover on downs. As Alabama is in control here, 24-3.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA, and Peloton. Join high-energy cycling classes from the comfort of home.
The 10th all-time meeting between Bama and A&M, and the progressive pylon cam offering up some sensational looks. Jalen Hurts with the touchdown run. The freshman Henry Ruggs with the touchdown catch off the pivot route. Little bounce to the outside. And a 24-3 lead for Alabama. You know what they've done over the stretch of the last 3 games. Will it snowball now here in College Station? Hurts to pass. He wants all of it. Robert Foster wide open, but they couldn't connect. And a flag is down back at the 40.
The ball was thrown too far outside. When you got a guy running wide open like that, just put it right on his number.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 84 of the offense. He was covered up by a wideout. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat first out.
Now somebody didn't get off the line there.
There's Hentges right here. That's the penalty. Now this receiver is off. And this one is not.
Makes it a 1st and 15. Harris struggles to gain a yard. Holly?
You guys, a huge development for Alabama. On that last play, Calvin Ridley was out on the field, their wide receiver who leads everybody with more than triple the catches of anyone else on this team. After that route, he shook his head to the athletic trainer and took himself out of the ballgame. This kid wants to be in on every play, so that tells me a lot about how his left knee is feeling. He's taken over to the sideline. He's now sitting on the bench being seen to by the athletic trainers, and he's on the bike. He's trying to get that knee moving, but he's shaking his head like it is not feeling well right now.
That's the update from Holly. Always right on top of everything. Ridley injured earlier in this second half. Quick strike is dropped by Foster.
Well, you want to see how a running back is supposed to pick up a blitz. Watch Damian Harris right here pick up the outside rusher. He is going to put his face right in his chest and hold his ground. That's why Jalen Hurts had such a clean pocket to throw that route. Should have been caught, but beautiful job protecting the quarterback by a running back.
3rd and 12. Inside screen, Foster, ball is out. Aggies are on it. Fumble recovered, Deshaun Capers-Smith.
It was Renfro that knocked the ball out. Devion Renfro, number 29, is going to punch this ball out. It's a clean catch, and Renfro rips it out. And Texas A&M, and that's the first turnover for Alabama since going back to the second quarter of the Auburn game a year ago. That's 37 quarters without a turnover, and it's happened tonight for the Crimson Tide.
An amazing stretch. And it ends right there. And now let's see what Texas A&M does with it. Keith Ford, no gain. Hamilton with the tackle.
Just have not been able to run the football. They've run it on everybody, but Alabama is not everybody. They're just not getting enough sustaining of blocks up front. And when Alabama can play with two deep safeties and still stop your run game, they've got you in a real bind. And that's what they're doing right now. Two safeties back, and they're playing the run with 6 in the box and stuffing Texas A&M.
Corner pressure. He throws to it this time. And cutting back that time was Paul to the 30-yard line. Little John going on with Evans. Alabama #2 nationally in rush defense. They rarely allow for a 100-yard rusher. Only 16 going back to 2005. That is the fewest nationally. 3rd down and 4. Showing pressure off the edge again as Mond will check. Here comes Minkah Fitzpatrick after Mond. And he is brought down and sacked by Raekwon Davis.
Well, the reason that he got sacked is because the safety, Ronnie Harrison, was locked up on Christian Kirk. And that's where Kellen Mond wanted to go with the ball. Sometimes you got to just throw it up and let your guy try to make a play. And Kellen Mond double clutched and pulled it down because of the coverage by Ronnie Harrison, and it ended up in a sack. He thought he had a matchup that was in his favor, his best receiver against a safety, but it didn't work out.
His best receiver is the #2 receiver to the top of your screen right now on 4th and 9. Mond downfield, and it is caught by Ratley inside the 10 and inside the 5. Aggies in business. 32-yard reception.
Well, this was a mix-up by the Alabama defensive coverage. It was man coverage because it was a 5-man rush, and there was a mix-up to the open side of the field, and Ratley came on the in route wide open. You don't see that very often from Alabama, but Texas A&M was able to capitalize on the mistake.
1st and goal. Ford straight ahead. And they are going to mark him just short. Remember, Alabama, they've only allowed 1 rushing touchdown this season. And that is Isaiah Buggs, who is still down on 1 knee as the medical staff for the Tide comes out onto the field.
Texas A&M trying to come back yet again. They're sitting at 4-1 on the season, but they have had to come back in every game, even against teams where they had the superior talent. This is a team that blew a 34-point advantage to UCLA in the opener against Nicholls State. The game was tied 14-all in the 4th quarter. They had to come back and take over that game. Against Louisiana Lafayette, they were down 21-14 at halftime. And then even last week in the South Carolina game, they were down 17-7 in the 4th quarter. So they're used to coming from behind. And that's why this possession and a touchdown on this drive to make it a 2-possession game is absolutely critical for the Aggies.
2nd and goal.
Alabama shifted their defensive line, and it caused jumping in the offensive line.
Offense 78, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
You just can't have this. Again, self-inflicted wounds. Turnovers, pre-snap penalties. You're inside the 1-yard line.
Tip of the football was nearly hovering over the goal line. Instead now just beyond the 5. 3.5 minutes to go here in the third. A&M desperate for 7.
Christian Kirk is lined up in the backfield on this play along with Keith Ford. Now he's going to motion out.
Shovel pass. Ford wrapped up. And it was Raekwon Davis again, as well as Hamilton getting low.
Rashaan Evans also played that well from his linebacker position, forced it back inside. Play clock down to 8 seconds.
Down to 1.
Yeah, they had to call timeout. They're just too lackadaisical there, getting ready for that third down
Texas
play.
A&M, the first time out of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Coach someone and chew that gum a little quicker with a 3rd and goal here after this timeout. Hey, we're giving you a backstage pass all weekend long into college football. Take you behind the scenes with the Texas A&M Yell leaders and their activities today. You know, they had midnight Yell practice last night. How about kids Yell practice in the middle of this beautiful Texas afternoon? And then, of course, the Yell leaders leading the Aggies into the stadium. And we want to give you an inside look at their very own locker room as they prepare.
We have what? This is our house. We're going to make sure we're keeping our fans up. We're going to have the 12th man be alive and be factored the whole game, no matter what the score is, no matter how much time I'm left on the clock. I got it? Yes, sir. Good out, Alabama. Let's go. Woo!
So many traditions here. I was down the field before the game, and every one of those guys has some kind of a book in their back pocket. And I asked one of the guys, what's with the book? He says, that's one of the secret traditions of the Yell leaders. I said, well, what's it? He said, I can't tell you that. I absolutely can't tell you.
Well, right now, the only book that matters is the playbook of Noel Mazzoni. What does he come up with here on 3rd and goal? Met again at the line of scrimmage is Ford, and again it was Hamilton.
Beautiful read by Sean Dion Hamilton. He lined up on the same side of the formation with the running back Ford and just kind of traced his steps and met him in the hole for the stop on 3rd down. How important was the false start penalty that backed him off from the one inside the 1-yard line? Now it's 4th and goal. I think you got to give Kellen Mond a little read, a run-pass option here.
4th and goal. Mond with time. Now looking to extend it. Spins free. Got to get rid of it. To the end zone.
Wow, what
touchdown. What a catch by Christian Kirk. How did he pull that off?
Well, Kellen Mond does a great job of extending the play. It's 4th down. You got no other choice. Extend, and then throw it where your guy has a chance. Christian Kirk up was the knee on the white.
Watch the left knee here.
He knows where he is, but did he make the catch with the feet down before the knee hit?
But does he have possession when that foot is firmly in the ground? Extra point is up and good. A&M has scored on Bama, and we are back to a 14-point margin here in College Station. True freshman quarterback Kellen Mond with a sensational touchdown throw and an equally impressive catch by Christian Kirk moments ago.
Mond just does a beautiful job extending the play, and then we said Texas A&M was not going to have a chance in this game if their best player didn't play big, and that's their best player, Christian Kirk, making an incredible play.
That's the progressive pylon cam, and that is exactly why we have our nice TV toys to give you looks like that. Christian Kirk, his 5th touchdown of the year when they needed it most. Off the turnover, the short field. Mond went 4 for 4 on that drive and 2 fourth down conversions.
2 tremendous individual efforts on that play. Wow.
Let's go to the studio to Adnan.
All right, Tess, AT&T Field Pass checking on Wisconsin and Nebraska. Badgers, one of 9 FBS teams, averaging 225 rushing yards and 225 passing yards per game this season. That is Jonathan Taylor taking it all the way to the house. Currently, Wisconsin has a 17-10 lead. They're fighting for the Freedom Trophy. Tess?
Taylor with another 100-yard game tonight.
Calvin Ridley back on the field. Holly's been reporting about his left knee. Took himself out of the game. He's back on the field. They look a little confused. Alabama offensively right now looks a little bit out of sorts to start this possession.
Scarborough as he muscles his way to the 30-yard line.
Josh Jacobs in the game as well, that time with Scarborough. He was the guy in motion. That little fake of the jet sweep opened things up a little bit for Scarborough on that first down run.
About 102,000 here at the home of the 12th man, looking for a defensive stop. 2nd and 5. Hurts gets it to Scarborough out of the backfield, and he is so tough to stop when he gets momentum.
We mentioned Bo Scarborough is the 2nd leading receiver on this football team. That's his 8th catch, I believe, now. Well behind Calvin Ridley, the leading receiver.
He has 3 catches tonight.
So that gives him 10. Didn't give him enough credit. 10 receptions now on the season out of the backfield.
Hurts off the play action will be taken down as Zay Henderson is able to target Jalen Hurts.
He had his tight end. Henches was open. But he took his eyes off the downfield and decided to run. And A&M did a nice job of bottling him up when they collapsed the pocket.
They got 4s in the air. And they got Bama within 2 touchdowns. A little momentum for the Aggies, but can they come up big on defense when we return to College Station and college football primetime presented by Hampton by Hilton. Stay with us. Yeah, they're looking to saw varsity's horns off as you're watching the SEC on ESPN. A great tradition here in Aggie Land. Joe Tessitore, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe with you as we start the 4th quarter with Texas A&M's defense looking to come up with a stop. 3rd and 11.
What does Don Chavis do? Does he go after him or play coverage?
Hurts downfield beyond the reach of Cam Sims.
Chose coverage. He only rushed 4. A little bit against his normal nature. And they had excellent coverage downfield to force the punt.
And now Christian Kirk will go out there for Jeff Banks' special teams unit looking to set something up.
The key to getting Kirk loose here is to deal with the Gunners. Fitzpatrick
this is
and
off the
Tony
side.
Brown. And that's because of Christian Kirk, Joe. This is a great
Scott
punter.
Was thinking about directional stuff, and he went off the side of his foot. And the Aggies are going to have great field position at the 46. Just a 19-yard punt from a very talented senior punter.
This is a coaching decision to kick the ball to a spot away from Christian Kirk, and it just was not executed by an outstanding punter, and it's all because of that guy. The threat of a Christian Kirk return created that play, and excellent field position now for the A&M Aggies.
And it's very unlike J.K. Scott. When he put that drop a little too far outside that right seam, and this is the price now. As Williams and Paul are in the backfield, Chris goes in motion for the true freshman quarterback, Kellen Mond. Mond gonna tuck and pick up a good gainer as he slides down inside the 35. A&M's on the go. 20-yard run.
Beautiful job by Travion Williams. First of all, blocking and protecting his quarterback. And then when Kellen Mond made the decision, you see his ability to run away from defenders. He's not a make-you-miss runner out of the pocket, but he can run by you with just sheer speed. There's that shift they used a lot in the first half.
Pitch to Williams. Not much there at all as Hootie Jones came up to make the tackle.
Really well defended, maintaining leverage. Hootie Jones, outside leverage. If he doesn't make the tackle, he's forcing him back inside where help can come from. Kellen Mond, I still think, even though that was a great scramble a play ago, he's holding the ball a hair too long against his Alabama defense. I think his decision has to be just a hair quicker of whether to let it go or take off.
Williams, as he gets down close to the 30-yard line. It'll be third down and about 6.
Christian Kirk right here in the slot to the short side of the field. Working on Minkah Fitzpatrick, the best player on Alabama's defense.
Kirk has 4 catches, including that incredible touchdown moments ago. 3rd and 6. Flag is down.
I think they might call defensive holding on an inside stunt by Alabama's defensive front.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, defense in the 40. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
As Isaiah Buggs.
Isaiah Buggs came on an inside stunt and got his hand up into the mask of the center, Eric McCoy. And that is a huge break for Texas A&M because that was an incomplete pass and we're not going to get a conversion and make a tough decision whether to go for it on 4th down. Instead, A&M with a first down.
First down at the 15. Mond to the end zone he goes. Looking for Ratley that time.
For the second time in the ballgame, the center, Eric McCoy, has to leave the field for a play because his helmet came off. Might have to get a little tighter chin strap. This is not where you want to have to replace your center in this stage of the game in this part of the field.
And once again, it's Ryan McCollum who slides over from that left guard spot. There is Big Ryan, redshirt freshman from Spring, Texas.
Travion Williams now is out wide to the bottom of the screen. No running back, empty backfield.
2nd and 10. Looks to that near side to Osmond. And he makes the catch at the 10-yard line. His 3rd down approaches for the true freshman quarterback going up against mighty Bama's defense here in the 4th quarter. Minkah Fitzpatrick, the first-team All-America, who had a single-game record, 2 interception returns for touchdowns against A&M 2 years ago. 3rd and 5. Mond intercepted. Right on cue, Minkah Fitzpatrick. He does it to him again. One of the very best there is, Todd.
Well, he read the play and slipped inside of the intended receiver, Cameron Buckley. Buckley's drifting to the end zone, and Minkah Fitzpatrick made a play on the football and saved the day for Alabama.
Adnan Burke back in our college football studios. The rain has begun in Ann Arbor, but nothing can dampen the spirits of the Wolverine faithful because Khalid Hill touchdown. 4 plays, just 33 yards. 4-point deficit now. It's on ABC. Tess?
The 265-pound Khalid Hill. So tough to stop in spots like that. So after Minkah's interception, that could be a safety. The entire ball has to get out of the end zone.
I think he got the ball out.
They're going to say he got out.
Sheer effort by Damian Harris. He was hit.
Johnson came in against Harris.
He was hit in the end zone. Right there, he's hit.
You could argue forward progress was stopped there before the entire ball was out, Todd. Look at this Aggies front. They are fired up. Just a yard and a half that time for Harris.
When I've watched plays like that over the years, it seems like running backs and offensive players are given the benefit of the doubt and the opportunity to get that ball out. They don't get called forward progress too much unless it is a clean tackle in the end zone. Huge play right now for Texas A&M. A lot of time left in the football game and a chance to flip the field again with a stop here.
Batted down in the end zone. That was Kingsley Keke.
Excellent effort by Keke, working over the center, got his hand up, knocked that thing down. Watch him work right over the center, Bozeman. Little rip move underneath, gets the right hand up, and a big stop for the Aggie defense.
And remember, J.K. Scott had a 19-yard punt off the side of his foot last time. And Christian Kirk is at midfield.
And no gunners because they're backed up so deep. Everybody is in tight.
It is blocked and out the back of the end zone. 12th man does it as if it's scripted. Colin Gillespie. 12th man gets their 12th point. Gillespie comes up big. The team captain, Gillespie, coming in on J.K. Scott, swatting it away. And Uncle Mo has arrived in College Station. What kind of finish are we going to have here with number 1? Why do we love college football? Let us list the ways. Energy, passion, tradition. Gillespie, 12th man, 12th point. And College Station is roaring as they're playing with #1 Alabama here in the fourth quarter. And they have cut into this lead. Free kick will be fielded by Chris.
Go back and look at the block kick where Gillespie came from. Was right over the center to the left side. It was a good snap. He didn't take too much time. It just was poor protection right over the center.
Todd, look at my man up there. I mean, he shaved a 12 right into his chest hair. College, ain't it great? You've seen it all, haven't you?
I have.
My man shaved a 12 into his chest.
You probably have chest hair that you could do that to. I couldn't even think about doing that. I'd have to paint it on with a Sharpie.
Pursuit is not an issue on this side, my brother. As the sack comes in, Quinnen Williams.
A lot of times you see teams punt after a safety. Alabama choosing to kick off, and really good coverage, and normally you expect better field position after a safety than Texas A&M has to start. And then the first play, a negative play by the Alabama defense.
2nd and 14 now for Mond. Incomplete as he was looking for Osborne. Let's go to the studio and Adnan.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. Just want to update you right now. Washington State and Oregon. Autzen on the Saturday night. That can be fun, right? Luke Falk here to Bernard Bell. Currently, Wazoo has a 20-10 lead. It's early in the third, Joe.
Of course, Oregon with injuries they're dealing with at quarterback.
I'll tell you what, you can't oversell how good these two safeties are for Alabama. Minka Fitzpatrick and Ronnie Harrison are safeties who can hit and cover the run, but have corner coverage skills, as we saw on that last play.
3rd and 14 now.
That's
Flat comes in.
Yep. That's interference. That was a nice job by Kellen Mond throwing on the run. I'm not sure if Ratley would have made the catch or not, but Levi Wallace definitely made contact before the ball got there.
Pass interference. Defense number 39. Ball in place in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Well, another big penalty going against Alabama. The right hand is what got him in trouble. It's wrapped around. He makes a play on the ball with his left hand, but his right hand is what got the penalty.
First down for Texas A&M. As Mond was left with few opportunities to do anything. Levi Wallace closed in on him.
Well, what happened was he made the right read on the zone read, but Alabama guessed right and had a corner blitz also, and that's what left Kellen Mond with nowhere to go. The movement of the defensive end told him to pull the football and keep it, but the corner blitz was unaccounted for.
Good job by that guy, Jeremy Pruitt. Of course, he took over when Kirby Smart left to become the head coach at Georgia. 2nd and 12 now. Mond has to leak out again and extend, and he is brought down by Ray. Fine looking true freshman from Madison, Alabama, getting to him.
Well, Ray is the guy that forced the quarterback to leave the pocket. Here he is right here working on the left tackle. His pressure is going to force Mond to leave the pocket initially, and then he stays with the play and is able to wrap him up for the sack.
And now what a mountain to climb against this defense. Play clock is down to 5.
Well, you hate to have to burn a timeout here. I think they're just going to let it go down, or did they call timeout?
Offense number 11, 5-yard penalty. still third down.
I think that Kevin Sumlin and Noel Mazzoni have already conceded that they're going to go ahead and punt this football, probably run here and punt it, and save the timeout.
You know, you brought up a point very early on here about the free kick and the lack of good field position.
Yeah.
It's strange to see a safety and then see a team sitting here at 3rd and forever from the 19.
The first play was a negative yardage play. The sack on 2nd down, and now a penalty, and they are way backed up.
And nearly a mishandle of the snap as Williams will get the call here, and they will be punting away with under 7.5 minutes to play.
Well, credit the Alabama defense and their special teams on the coverage of that free kick. Texas A&M with an opportunity to really seize momentum, and they weren't able to do it. Alabama snuffed out that drive completely.
It's a good punt by Tripucka. As Ruggs all the way back there near the 20-yard line, and he is chased down. That was a 52-yard boot from Shane Tripucka. 6:49 to play. Bama by 12.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. Book a room today and follow your team all the way. And in part by Old Dominion Freight Line. Visit odfl.com for more information.
That was a beautiful look at a harvest moon high above that corps of cadets, the keepers of the spirit. And they have played with much spirit here in this 4th quarter against the #1 team in the country.
If you're Alabama right now, it's a 2-possession game. You want to run the football. Calvin Ridley has given up his helmet. Not in there.
There's Harris. Let's see what Holly has to say about that.
Well, guys, Calvin Ridley had walked out to the wide receivers and kind of given them some words of encouragement. It does not look like he's going to be able to return to this game. He's standing on the sideline, although I do see him holding his helmet, Todd. I don't think he can return. He has tried several times, and the athletic trainer keeps treating him on the sideline. Looks like a left knee injury. That is huge news. Nobody else on this team at wide receiver has more than 6 receptions in 5 games this season.
Yeah, well, the good news for Alabama is they're not playing catch-up here. They're playing bleed the clock.
Hurts on 2nd and 9, gets it complete, and that is the freshman Jerry Jeudy.
Big catch right on cue. As Holly mentioned, who can step up? That's the first receiver that has now caught his 7th pass.
So Ruggs with a touchdown catch earlier, the true freshman. We've seen outstanding play from Jerry Jeudy throughout the season. He was a breakout star of spring ball as well as a well-hyped early enrollee.
Jalen Hurts is using all the play clock. You don't want to lose your edge for your offensive lineman, but you want to use the clock.
Harris tries to reverse ground. Well, we'll get you caught up on everything on such a busy sports day on SportsCenter. Nick Saban's news conference will be coming your way on the ESPN app and ESPN News. Oklahoma's loss, how does that affect Ohio State? Start playing the domino game a bit. Consider that loss to Iowa State today. Of course, Ohio State has the blemish. And Saquon Barkley continues his wonderful season. That's all coming up on SportsCenter. 2nd and 7. Scarborough, as he's ridden down by Dotson.
This might be the play of the game right here for Texas A&M. 3rd down, 3 yards, clock under 5 minutes. If you don't get a stop here, it's going to be very difficult for you to get enough time with the ball to score twice.
Third and 3.
And Alabama will try to do this without their best receiver, Calvin Ridley.
Scarborough straight ahead and leaning ahead to midfield, which is where the chains pull tightly to.
Nice block by the center, Bradley Bozeman, on that third down play. Bradley Bozeman missed a little practice time this week, a little banged up after the last game. Watch him leading this play. Scarborough right behind him. Bozeman blocking on Kiki.
Calvin Ridley says, give us a first down. Let us bleed that clock to yet another win. But what a difference this week is compared to the past few. Watched this team up in Nashville a couple weeks ago against a Vandy defense that was well thought of, and then, I mean, what they did to Ole Miss last week was just flat out scary in that second half. And here, they've had a fight deep into the fourth quarter.
They only have 351 yards of total offense against A&M tonight, and 75 yards came on one run for a touchdown by Damian Harris. They've had over 600 yards of offense the last two games in a row.
Hurts to pass on 2nd and 8. Off the hands of Robert Foster in the end zone. Flag is down at the 1-yard line. Devion Renfro had coverage.
This was a beautiful throw by Jalen Hurts. It's maximum protection.
Pass interference. Defense number 29. It's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It was straight man coverage, no safety help. Renfro working on Foster, and a beautiful throw. And the only play Renfro had was to go through the receiver to the football. Can't throw it any better. Alabama very conservative there and safe with their pass protection. Kept the tight end and the back Scarborough in to help block. And Jalen Hurts delivered a perfect throw.
Big Bo stands behind Jalen Hurts. There's just over 3 minutes to play. And he will get it inside the 30-yard line, tackled by Larry Pryor.
What you might see here right now with John Chavis's defense is he knows they're in a desperate situation. The more guys they put up around that line of scrimmage to try to create a negative play, the more opportunity Scarborough or Damian Harris might have to pop through and take one all the way to the end zone. Safeties have to come up to help in the run game when you get in this kind of a situation.
Scarborough met by Dodson that time.
There's a timeout by A&M.
That'll stop the clock with
Timeout,
2:21 remaining as someone gathers the troops. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Hampton by Hilton as we continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive, game of the week. Allstate's proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. And to date, Allstate has contributed millions in those scholarship funds. A&M used the timeout. Damian Harris had the big moment in the first half. Aggies have had a lot of momentum in the second half up until this. Alabama looking to put things away and seal the deal with the run game. 3rd and 2. Hurts can't go anywhere. Tripped up by Dodson.
And right away another timeout by Kevin Sumlin. Dodson with a big time play. We've seen how elusive Jalen Hurts can be in the open field.
Timeout, Texas A&M.
And Dodson with a big time.
Defense did their job. Dodson with the tackle of Jalen Hurts.
I'm Adnan Burke, back in our college football studios with an update on Wisconsin and Nebraska. Alex Hornibrook here with time, but the pick six. Aaron Williams will take it to the house. However, Badgers have since responded. Currently up 23-17, under 5 to go in the third. Back to you, Tess.
Thank you very much. Andy Papanastis, who made from 34 yards earlier, is on to attempt his 44-yarder.
And it is 4th and 3. So even an offsides would give Alabama a first down if they go with a different count.
And that just sneaks in. So well done by Papanastis.
Good snap, good hold, good protection. Alabama used a lot of clock, and they came away with points.
It was a nice hold by J.K. Scott, who has had a troubled second half, but reliable there as Papanastis puts it through, and Hurts says, thank you very much. That's exactly what we were looking for. You know, we sat and spent a lot of time with the Alabama coaches. They had a lot of respect for this A&M team and what these coaches here in College Station, as you see Noel Mazzoni, offensive coordinator, and Kevin Sumlin, what they've been able to do considering the circumstances and how they piece things together there. Jeff Banks, tight end and special teams coach there as well.
Well, and you also saw the guy with the baseball hat on backwards. That was Nick Starkel. That was their starting quarterback coming out of summer camp and started the UCLA game. They were very happy with what he was giving them, and he got hurt, and Kellen Mond had to come in and finish that game.
Here's Christian Kirk coming up to field the short kick. Let's go to the studio, check in with Adnan.
All right, Tess, just a friendly reminder of the great action coming up. Dante Pettis, he's been unbelievable. 8 punts returned for touchdown, tying the FBS record. The number 6 team in the country, UW facing Cal. That game will be coming up next. Joe, back to you and Todd.
Pettis is sensational. You know, Rod Gilmore always loves to check in, tell us what to look for. Rod gave us his report on that game. He'll be calling the game with Quinn Kesnick and Mark Jones. And he says, watch out for Dante Pettis. Of course, Jake Browning among the very best. Everybody knows about Darnold and Rosen, Luke Falk out of that conference. But Rod's focus will be Jake Browning and what he's been doing this year with Washington. Could they make their way back to the college football playoff? Looking forward to seeing them tonight. Kellen Mond have to throw it away. Let's go down to the field to Holly for more on what we were discussing with Nick Starkel.
Well, you talked about the injury to him. He had a broken fibula. He had some screws and a plate put into that leg, but he's out of his walking boot this week. They do have a bye week coming up. They think that he could be back after that. So Nick Starkel is still a possibility to return and play for this team this season. But I do want to really compliment Kellen Mond, guys. He's 18 years old. I have not seen him be afraid at all tonight. He's been in command. He has really had a great command of this offense despite this difficult defense he's faced.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting how similar he is temperament-wise and personality-wise to Jalen Hurts on the other side. Very calm, very composed, has done a nice job of extending several plays tonight. They just don't have other receivers that have been able to scare this Alabama defense. With the absence of a power running game, they just haven't been able to crack the code.
Here's Williams taking it straight ahead to move the chains on third down.
You know, we mentioned Rod doing that Washington game, and I find that the lack of, I don't want to say respect, but just knowledge of the Washington Huskies is pretty interesting around college football right now. They are a really solid football team.
That ball is complete to Jamon Osborne. Former high school teammates, Mond and Osborne, a year ago at IMG. I agree with you.
You know, we talk about how efficient Alabama is. They are ranked in the top 10 in overall efficiency in both offense and defense. There's only one other team in all of college football that's in the top 10 in both, and that's Washington.
Somehow stood up to it, did Mond. Now being chased from behind, gets it downfield.
Wow.
Into the hands of Buckley. How about that play by Kellen Mond? Second time tonight he's wowed us like that.
I mean, first of all, just the ability to extend the play, to avoid the rush, and then to make a throw on the dead run under duress, drops it right in the basket.
And then you hit the wall of the front of Alabama. There have been moments tonight where Mond flashes. We saw it on the spectacular extending of the play and the touchdown to Kirk, and then this here in the final minute.
Remember, they have no timeouts. They used them on defense. That's why they couldn't stop it unless they spiked the ball.
And he will take it in himself. Kellen Mond got a block from Williams. They are fighting right to the end against Bama.
Nice read by Kellen Mond to keep that football. A&M only 75 yards rushing in the ball game, well below their average coming in. But that was a hard-fought one there for the touchdown.
Now this thing's an 8-point game with 17 seconds left.
This throw is amazing now. I mean, first of all, to keep your calm and your composure, to shake off the sack, to extend the play, keep your eyes downfield, and then to make that throw on the run to Buckley in between two defenders. That's special right there.
And then Mond brings it in. It has been an interesting second half, to say the least. Week 5 NFL Sunday kicks off at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Sunday NFL Countdown. We'll get you set for the full day in the NFL. And then Mitchell Trubisky is going to start for the Bears on Monday Night Football against the Vikings. And our coverage will begin with Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Trubisky making his first career start.
Hey, just remember now, one of the guys that almost assuredly would have been on the hands team for Alabama right now would be Calvin Ridley, their best receiver. He is not in the football game right now.
Very talented. Braden Mann is the kickoff specialist. They spend a lot of time working on onside scenarios with Jeff Banks and Kevin Sumlin often in a special teams meeting as well, stressing this. Let's see what they come up with. And it didn't take the big second bounce into the hands of Minkah Fitzpatrick, the All-American, returning it, and Minkah does it. He had the fourth quarter interception, and then he puts it away here.
This guy is such a great football player. I mean, now the ball bounced right to him, but he was the right guy to be in that spot at the right time.
There's just something about him, Todd.
Yeah.
All key moments of the game. And as Braden Mann was unable to get the big second bounce that's necessary to make it a 50-50 ball. It was a good effort from the Aggies tonight.
Yeah, they have nothing to be ashamed of in this effort. They battled. Their defense played pretty well for most of the night. Held Alabama to under 400 yards of offense.
And now 70 straight wins against unranked teams under Nick Saban. Their last loss to an unranked team came at the end of the 2007 season. Holland.
Coach Saban, the last 2 weeks you'd been in big blowouts, but tonight was a much different type of game with a real hard-fought win. How did your guys respond to that?
Well, I don't think we played very well in the second half. You know, we didn't do a very good job of controlling the ball on offense. We turned it over, gave them opportunities, and got to give them credit for hanging in there and playing hard at the end. But we're ahead 24-3 in the game. We're supposed to go put the game away, and we didn't do it.
You didn't do it, Coach, but some guys stepped up and had big plays like Minkah Fitzpatrick, the interception, and then that return or that onside recovery right there. How did he keep stepping up?
Well, Minkah's a good player. We expect him to make plays. You got to have your good players make plays. And, you know, we had some other guys, got a lot of guys hurt. You know, we're playing a lot of different guys out there on defense, but they played hard and we did what we had to do. And it's a great win for us. It's a tough place to play. So, you know, we just got to kind of get healed up and try to get better.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Todd, what's your takeaway?
Well, again, Alabama is a team that is not going to beat themselves very often. They did have the turnover that led to a touchdown, but you've got to beat them. You've got to be able to stop them from running the football, and you can't turn the ball over. Texas A&M a little too much of that.
Damon Harris ran for 124 and a touch. Hurts had a touchdown run and a touchdown pass. Cal Washington still to come, but now we'll go to the studio to Adnan Virk and the guys. So long from College Station.